She called me and said, I feel like I'm starting my whole life over at 67. And I said, no, you're not starting over. Starting over is for people who don't know who they are yet. You do. Last week, I told you I would see you here, and you showed up. That matters. Before we go any further, I need to say something to you directly. Over the last 3 weeks, you named the wound, you sat with the awakening, and you began to let go of what was no longer yours to carry. Now, I know what you're about to say. I didn't really do anything, or I'm still a mess, or I don't feel any different. I hear that. I do. But let me tell you what I see. You stayed when it got uncomfortable, when it got quiet, when it got honest. You stayed. That is not small. That is the work. So take a breath before we step into today. Because what we're about to talk about, this next part, it asks you to show up for yourself one more time. And I believe you are ready. Now, the world has a word for what you are doing. They call it starting over. And when they say it, listen for the tone. There's always something underneath it. A kind of quiet pity. Isn't it brave of her? At her age? To be starting again? I want to dismantle that. Today, because starting over is what a 22-year-old does when she doesn't know who she is yet. You know who you are. You know what drained you and what filled you. You know which relationships were real and which ones were performances. You know the sound of your own voice when it's telling you the truth and when it's not. That is not the beginning. That is wisdom. And wisdom does not start over. Wisdom builds. So let's stop calling it starting over. What you are doing right now in this season is starting new. And there's a world of difference between those two things. So who is she, this new woman? Let me tell you who she is not first. Because sometimes we need to clear the room before we can see who's standing in it. She's not the one who says yes when every part of her means no. She's not the one who makes herself smaller so everyone around her can feel comfortable. She is not the one who waits to be chosen by a person, by a room, by a moment before she steps forward. That woman, she did her job. She served her season, and she is done. Now, who is she? I'll be specific because vague doesn't help anybody. She is the woman who wants peace, and not the kind of peace that depends on how everyone else is doing that day. She wants one morning a week that belongs entirely to her. Not to a phone, not to a to-do list, not to someone else's crisis, to her. She wants to say the thing she has been thinking for years out loud, without apologizing for it on the way out. She wants to take up space, and she is finished shrinking. Now, here's what I need you to hear. This woman is not a stranger. She has been inside you the entire time. You have just been so busy holding everything together for everyone else that you never gave her permission to speak. She has been waiting, and she is ready now. So what does starting new actually look like on a regular Tuesday morning? Let me give you something you can use today. Not someday, today. One decision. That is all I'm asking. One decision, small or large, that is based on what you want, not what is expected, not what makes someone else comfortable, what you actually want. Maybe it is that you do not answer the phone during the 1 hour you set aside for yourself. Maybe it is that you finally open the notebook and write the first sentence of the thing you have been putting off for 3 years. Maybe it is that you sign up for something, a class, a trip, a conversation that has nothing to do with taking care of anyone else. One decision today. Because here is what I need you to understand. Starting new is not a feeling you wait for. It is a practice you build. You do not wait until you feel ready. You make one decision, and then another, and then another. And somewhere in that process, you look up and realize you have already become her. Every wound you survived, every awakening you leaned into, every act of release, every hard, quiet, invisible thing you did, it was all preparation. This chapter is not the consolation prize. This is the destination. We have walked through 4 weeks together. The wound, the awakening, the release, and now the new woman. If I could leave you with just one thing, it would be this. Stop waiting for permission. You have already done the work. You have already survived the hard parts. You are already the woman you have been waiting to become. You just need to start acting like it. So tell me, leave it in the comments below. What is the one thing the new you are ready to begin? Not finish, not fix, begin. I read every single one because this is a sanctuary, and every story that lives here, including yours, matters. I'm Clistel Field, and I will see you in the next series.